most adrenaline-fueled indoor equestrian disciplines is back. Speed, accuracy, and burst will be tested as the world's elite four-in-hand drivers compete with their teams to the FEI Driving World Cup final in February 2023. Golden Sight is set to be a thrilling season of sport.
Goedenavond, bonsoir, good evening, goedenavond. Mechelen verwelkomt de FEI World Cup Driving 22-23, presented by Paardensport Vlaanderen. It's in its 21st years of existence and Mechelen was from the start involved. 21 jaar lang Vlaanderen's kerstjumping, de 40ste editie. Na Lyon, Maastricht, Stuttgart, Stockholm, Genève en Londen is Mechelen aan de beurt. Daarna nog Leipzig en de finale in Bordeaux. De 6 beste koetsiers mogen daarheen. Naast 5 topmenners hier in Mechelen was het organiserende comité gul en gaf aan onze 2 beste Belgen een wildcard. Aan Dries de Griek en aan Glenn Geerts. Wildcards krijgen geen punten voor de kwalificatie. Vandaag 7 menners in ronde 1. De 3 beste gaan naar de barrage en daar starten ze op 0. Ieder balletje telt voor 4 seconden. De snelste wint. Dames en heren, mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen. Jumping Mechelen, Vlaanderen's kartjumping. De Memorial Erik Wouters. Are you ready? Bent u er klaar voor? Let's go! Nekkerhal, zet de handen op elkaar. Finale van de Jumping Mechelen 2022. We gaan ervoor. En we gaan ze allemaal eigen en oog.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome along to Mechelen. It is the FEI Driving World Cup. We are here in this famous Christmas arena, in this wonderful break between Christmas and New Year, and we're back in Belgium, back at Jumping Mechelen, and what a week of sport it has been. A triple header of FEI World Cup competition. We have seen the dressage, we have seen the jumping. Now, the last hurrah. It is time for the driving. The best in the business are with us. We saw a fabulous pre-qualifier yesterday morning, and now we're off to the races. It has been a brilliant season already. Can't believe how quick the 6 legs we've seen have gone. Boyd Excel has been dominant every time he's been out, but he's not here tonight. At the moment, Bram Chardon is here this evening. The man that sits in third, of course, will head to Bordeaux as the defending champion. And tonight, in the start order, you'll notice he's second last, because Jérôme Boutaz, the man from Switzerland, the world number 6, set the quickest time in the qualifier yesterday. Quite phenomenal. Graham getting caught with a fault late on. But there is a mix in there tonight, because consider this. You've not only got those two, you've also got the likes of Glenn Geertz and Dries de Griek on home soil, Kusteronda. They're tackling Johan Jacobs' course, and it's a real challenge. The two marathon obstacles really bring a little bit of difference from each. One quite tight, the other quite open. The bridge out there in the middle actually comes quite late in the course. And the cones, well, they're all around. It's a flat-out gallop, and they're there to challenge the drivers, the horses, the teams as they fly around what is one of the tighter, smaller arenas. When you compare to the likes of Stuttgart, compared to the likes of maybe Geneva, where we've been already this year, this is a little bit more compact. But nevertheless, it is still a thrill from start to finish. In fact, we're going to see the teams coming in and parading here this evening, because there is the man which will be heading out as the last to go. It is Jérôme Dutaz. He, the winner of the qualifier here yesterday. And what a brilliant performance it was. The horses were as quick as I have seen them all season long. Well, he's got a tough challenge. He really does. And there is no way the defending title holder of the FEI Driving World Cup is going to want to be beaten again this evening. And I am sure that, well, he's going to be looking to push on his Bram Chardon. There they are, just having a little look round. It's fabulous to get them in a parade, you can see. So let's run you through who is here again this evening. There's the current champion, the FEI Driving World Cup champion in Leipzig, the World Cup holder for 2022, his second win. There is Glenn Geertz, of course, home soil this week. Big night for the Belgian drivers. You've also got the 27-year-old Dries de Griek out there as well. Look at that, the flags are out, huge audience. There he is, smiles and thumbs up. Well, let's not forget the other two, Michael Bruckeli of Germany and Ben Alliard, the man that will go first from France. Well, lovely for them to be able just to get a little bit of a feel. Thumbs up. Tonight, as we know, on World Cup points-paying evenings, we're looking for the top three from the opening drive here tonight. And the top three will go forward into the drive-off. That drive-off resets to 0 here this evening. Of course, yesterday in the pre-qualifier it carried through. There's the man that's going to go first, Ben Alliard. He's been busy this year, and he, of course, is going to have to try and set the standard. Well, it all begins to settle down. It all begins to get ready. And now we rev up. So, who can come out on top tonight? There is only one leg left after this before we go to the final in Bordeaux. That will be Leipzig in the middle of January. Ben Alliard so far this year has been looking to try and pick some bigger points on the board than he has done. But he is a man that has certainly been pushing hard as the French contender. He was 5th in London just a week or so ago. He was 6th in Stuttgart, 5th in Maastricht, and into 7th in Lyon. And look at this. There is no hold barred this evening for the drivers like Ben that need big points. He sits in 9th place on the overall standings and needs to make sure he gets something out of tonight to try and push his way in to the final in Bordeaux. So here we go, into the marathon for the first time. We go through A, we loop back round. B is at the bottom, so they've got to go back almost on themselves, the full 360, then they turn left. So that is B. You can see C. Now the horse is going through C, keeping on that left-hand bend. Then to the next gate at D, but this is which brings the wiggle. Really breaks the rhythm, gets them through E. Loop back, still one more gate to go. That is here through F. And now you can let them run. Look at the teams. This is where it's so important that the horses can pick up the pace as a unit, slide round that corner. You go through this gate here, and then you need to try and get the inside turn. That they've done. You come to the bridge for the first time. 9 on the way up, over and off in 86 seconds. And then into the second of the marathons for Ben Alliard for France. Now you'll see here, the way it's laid out, still twists and turns. You've got the change of rein. It's just that little bit wider to start with. Round, through D, and then you begin this corkscrew in the middle. Really tight on the 360. Get them out through F, and then it unwinds itself. So you tighten up and then release. And then the end of the course comes really quickly because you're over the bridge. That is, there's 4 seconds to add. But now he's already through the final gate. And now it's this final swing and the gallop for home for Ben Alliard and his team here to try and set the standard. 139.52. The course is plus 4 seconds there. So we are at 143.52. Let's just compare that back to last night for him. That is so much faster than yesterday. He has just knocked a good 10 plus seconds off his time. He's brought himself right within range of the leaders from yesterday with that drive. So a fabulous start. Look how quick he was. Yesterday, the fastest in the opening drive around this course was 138.26. That was Bram Chardon in the opening drive. That was 139.52. Plus 4, 143.52. The mistakes can make a big difference, but he knows how good it was. It was a brilliant start to tonight's FEI Driving World Cup. Now, Michael Bruckli. It is Germany's turn. The Marathon Supremo. Been fabulous to see him on. Oh dear, he really hit that cone hard. Based in Warendorf, second in Geneva. That was the best driving we've seen from him all season so far. He was just building up. He started in Maastricht, he finished 6th. 4th in Stuttgart, 3rd in Stockholm, 2nd in Geneva. But it's an early 4 to add tonight. Round he goes, so through A, back, thread the eye through the needle. There's C, beautiful to see it from the other angle. And they've got to be so careful here. You'll see sometimes the back step just hopping around a little bit on the video. Oh no! Well, bigger problems. You can see the 8 seconds now is the penalty. 2 penalties of 4. I love this turn. You watch them sliding round the corner. Look at the drift. Now coming back towards the bridge, just getting those leaders to concentrate. So important that they all pull together. Drifting in. Starting very quickly. Now to the change of rein. Moves from left to right. Now into the tight section in the middle. Wind them up. Round and round the merry-go-round. And out we come. Still keeping it to just the 8 seconds in terms of penalty. There's your time to beat. Over the bridge, down the other side. Mechelen for Germany then. Oh, he's picked up another 4 seconds. He's come for that inside turn. Well, I think he'll be quicker in terms of the drive. 136.60 or 136.50 he was. But unfortunately, the 12 seconds is what costs him dear, because he becomes 148.50, puts him into second place. He was 3 seconds faster than we saw from Ben Eliard in terms of the drive time. But Ben with just the 4 seconds to add, Mechelen there with 12 seconds to add, and it's sometimes the penalties, well, in fact, too often the penalties that can make the difference. It's a sport where speed is so important, but accuracy is what will define you. The horsemanship, quite sensational. Getting these teams to understand all that has been asked. Well, big support here in this arena for this man. Certainly making an impression on the World Cup circuit. He qualified for his first final this season just gone. He competed in Leipzig. He only just missed out, in fact, on the podium. He finished in 4th in the final this year. Since that amazing performance this season, 4th in Lyon, 5th in Stockholm. He was 3rd in Geneva, and he was 4th last time out in London. 27 years of age, team bronze at the World Championships in Potoni this year. And this will be the most important night of his entire season in front of the Belgian fans. So there we go, through the first, slides his way round. A long gallop, one end to the other. Neat and tidy, safe through 3. Now we come down to the marathon section. You can see the middle step there, the navigator just adjusting the brake bias and the brake balance. Round we come. So 4 seconds to add, another on penalties. Nobody yet with a clean drive. Through the little wiggle. Leaders just looking for a little bit of direction. Hopping up. The power from the wheelers, though, now really kicking in as well. Watch them slide round this corner. Snap straight. Through 8. Back to the bridge. Dries de Greek then heads towards the second of the marathon obstacles. Flat out gallop as he heads through A. Gets himself through B, now the change of rate. Keeps it moving. So tight in the middle. I described it yesterday, so it is really like a corkscrew. The whirlpool that sucks you in and then spits you out as you fly from there to the bridge. And this is good. He's just got the 4 seconds to add. He's chasing 143.52. Oh, he's run into problems in the middle of... He's tried to take the shortcut. It's a line they've all tried to take, but he's given himself extra penalties because of it. Oh, devastating. 140. 140 would have been enough, 0.94, but it is 8 seconds to add, and that becomes 148.94, and by half a second, less than half a second, he's actually gone into 3rd place. So 140.94. Penalties making all the difference here this evening. The fastest driver of the night, sitting in second with plus 12. Dries, the slowest driver of the evening, does go into third with just 8 seconds added. But Ben Elliard, with just the 4 added on at the moment, is holding on at the top with 3 gone and 4 to go. But they're using lines as well between the marathon to cut the corners off on the long runs. And that also is where the difficulty came. But from Belgium to another, third in the final in Leipzig this year, it is Glenn Geertz. He's had 3 fourth places and was third in Stuttgart. Another part of Belgium's bronze medal winning team at the World Championships this year. And another looking for a big finish here this evening. Sat down in 7th on the overall standings this year. Beautiful symmetry as you watch them cover the ground. Charlotte Van Groep and Rodrigo Verstraeten on the back. Rodrigo leaning over as far as he can, swapping from side to side, keeping hold. Now through C. So left, right, left. It's the chicane that's been put into the course. Just slows them up, makes it that little bit more difficult. Still coming round. Now the crowd are behind him. They're cheering him. He's still clear. No penalties so far for Glenn Geertz, and it's been one of the keys to his success this season. He did this yesterday. He kept it clean. Up and down. Oh, and 5 seconds in hand as he comes to the marathon for the second time. Of course, these marathon obstacles, the sort of thing you'd see out in the countryside after those long runs. Getting to the marathon obstacles, such a brilliant sport outdoors. It's something else when it comes indoors. It's a sport that's been part of the FEI World Cup seasons now for what, some 20-odd years, 21 years. Mechelen, of course, has always been part of driving right since its conception as an indoor sport. And this is a brilliant performance from Glenn Geertz, because he is still clear and he is looking quick. 1:43.52. This is a big statement drive. Will it be enough to put him into the drive off this evening? They're all willing him. They're all pushing him. He's willing. He's pushing. He's gone for it. 1:38.55. You can see what it means to him. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, and he's off. Oh, now this is what can happen. But there you have it. Immediately. One, you've got the team down there in the arena. But 2, the grooms leading straight over, picking up the reins. Glenn's okay. He's on his feet. And this, this unfortunately is part of a sport where sometimes things do go wrong. We all know that. He's fine. But what you can also see is that you have an amazing arena team in the event that this happens. The officials down there are driving specific and they know what to do. They get themselves into position. Glenn is fine. I'll say I've seen somebody out the vehicle for a little while, but, well, little kiss to to Charlotte there. And all is well that ends well. At 138.55, it is a brilliant drive because it is clear. It is crystal clear, no penalties. And there may well still be 3 to go, but pressure is now applied to the final 3. 2 for the Netherlands, 1 for the Swiss. Will they be able to do anything about this man from Belgium? Look at him going towards the finish, hopping, willing. I almost wonder if he hopped himself out the vehicle, but he didn't. Nevertheless, these things, as I say, are all dealt with very, very professionally. Now it is into the final 3. There is the standard. If they want to get into the drive-off, they've got to beat that time. 1:38.55. It guarantees them If they beat it, they go through. This is Koos de Ronde. This then, Marie de Ronde on the back, Peter de Ronde as well. And there's the team. There's the lineup for our 5th team of the night. Hugely experienced, and he's been going very, very strongly. 3rd in London, 3rd in Maastricht, 3rd in Lyon. He won the World Cup final back in 2013. What is he able to do here this evening? Been on the podium 6 times at the final. Such a consistent driver. Part of the gold medal winning team is 16 gold for the Dutch in Petoni back in September. Right. It's all pretty much even Stevens at the moment. The good news for Koos is there is nothing to add as he comes to the marathon for the first time. Gets through that little wiggle, now comes round to the right. We've still got one more gate to go. That he achieves, now he can let them begin to pick up the pace again. This sliding turn gets them right up against the arena boards. Unbelievable accuracy, these drivers. They're able to achieve such amazing feats. Being able to judge just when to ask for the turn. The twists to get the turns absolutely spot on. Getting the leaders to turn, because they've got to be able to give themselves just enough room. And of course, as I've said time and time again before, this sport, when you get into these moments, is built on momentum, because when you turn tight like that in the middle, when you're turning like a slinky going round a corner, but you've got to be able to keep moving forward. The moment you start hesitating is the moment the clock keeps running and you lose time. And at the moment, 138.55 means he's got 10 seconds to get home here. Koos de Ronde for the Netherlands is trying to guarantee himself a place in the drive-off tonight. It's going to be awfully, awfully close. He's done it! 137.14. That was brilliant from the Dutchman. 137.14. Nothing to add, and it shows the benefits of clear driving. You've got to remember, you can look back to Mikael Brokreli, 136.50, but his 12 seconds to add. He's still the fastest round this course, but his 12 seconds added has put him out of play. But that now, perhaps it'll worry a little bit Glenn Geertz, because he knows there's 2 quick ones still to come. Koos de Ronde, though, finds a second, only a second. When you think of all the twists, all the turns, all the galloping, all the running around this arena, and you're down to less than a second, 137, 138. Now we move on. Yesterday looked so good, pretty much until the final turn, and even I thought he'd won it. And then it turned out he caught the gate coming late at the end of the course, and the 4 seconds came late. And suddenly, it wasn't his night. Bram Chardon put maximum points on the board when he won in Geneva. And with Boyd being the wild card last time in London, it was his night as well for the big points then. Will it be again in his 3rd outing, the defending champion of the FEI Driving World Cup seasons? It is Bram Chardon. What can he do? He's looking back. I wonder if he got a little bit worried about the first gate. He's going for it though. Leanne and Quint are already getting set to lean over on the back. Of course, he won his 2nd World Cup title in Leipzig this year, having won the title back in 2019. Son of the legendary Bram Chardon. Look at them hopping, moving, doing everything they can, trying to just give themselves every inch that they need so they can save every millisecond. This is a very good drive. Ooh. Always amazes me with Bram and with Boyd. You can just see how quickly they've got their horses trained to pick up and gallop. That was something we saw much better from Jerome, who will go next here yesterday. And it's that sheer acceleration that can make such a difference. Where is he? He's surely quicker. Oh, 2 seconds faster. So that is not enough to give him anything in hand if he makes a mistake. It's that close. I mean, what we've seen already from Custeronda and Glenn Geertz has really put the pressure on. It's bringing out the best in Bram Chardon here this evening. Lovely driving. Releases them through the final gate. Safely up and onto the bridge, down the other side. 137.14 is what we're chasing. Surely he's quicker with 10 seconds. He's been so fast through that second marathon. This is brilliant. Put the pressure on him, bring the best out, and you will see the best. 133.19. The time stands. He found 5 seconds around this course over what he managed yesterday. Wow. So he moves into the top spot. Of course, he'll have to come back and do it all again because the drive off resets to 0. I did see one of the leaders there, the colour just slipping a little bit on the right hand side, but it didn't seem to affect them. Locking their concentration onto the bridge. One of the things is lovely, if you ever get arena side, despite all the music which we enjoy, listening to the drivers. They never stop talking to their horses. There's that constant communication. It isn't just the reins, the voice is such a key element. Well, what a show from this man yesterday. Can he do it again? Jerome Boutaz, the Swiss star, world number 6. He was second in the World Cup final back in 2017 and 2018. This year, his best result was second in Stuttgart. He's got a big challenge on now. He's got to go faster than Glenn Geertz at 138.55. Yesterday, in the opening drive, he did have 2 penalties and 8 seconds added, but his drive time was 135.78. They've all been going faster tonight. But he certainly, it all just seemed to suit him yesterday. And you can see what I mean, just visibly how quick these horses have been able to go here in Mechelen. That little bit bigger than what we saw with Bram, that slightly longer stride. Nicole Bachou, Philippe Bergeret on the back. Through B. C. Back round to D. Through the chicane. Using the brake to slide and bounce the vehicle. In fact, he's taken a different route. Now, he's come very wide here. Now, what is he up to? Was that deliberate? Whether he just thinks that's a little bit quicker by giving himself a little bit more momentum, but that was a very different route to what everybody else has taken today and taken yesterday. We'll wait for the split. He's going to be down 4 seconds. A mistake he certainly cannot afford. Now, Bram Chardon, you can remember, is 5 seconds faster than the cut-off time from Glenn Geertz. So it is exceptionally tight for Jerome here to get into the top 3 this evening. It just looks like he needs to find a little bit more pace through this second marathon section. Can sometimes be deceptive, but I think at the moment the seconds may be just ebbing away. 1:33.19 is the time to beat for the lead, but it's 138.55 that you're looking at. That's what he's got to beat to get into the top three. This is going to get awfully close. 35, 36, 37. Is he going to get there? 1:38.12. Yes, he does. Oh, how close is this in Mechelen here this evening? Jerome Boutaz. Yes. He wants to hear it for his horses. It'll be heartbreak for the home fans because he's knocked out Belgium and Glenn Gitt by 4/10 of a second in this opening drive. And of course, it means Jerome will go first in the drive off. He qualifies with Cousteronde and Bram Chardon. But it all resets to 0. It's the same course. So will they be able to find even more pace next time round? We will find out. Stunning replays. Well, what an opening to tonight's FEI Driving World Cup in Mechelen. There is the order at the end of the opening drive. Bram Chardon is leading the way. Cousteronde, Jerome Boutaz in third. Those are the three that go through. I mean, Glenn Gitt must be absolutely heartbroken. My heart, in fact, goes out to him here this evening, because in front of your home fans, to miss out by that margin when he drove his heart out, and it was one of those drives where he really put not only all of his energies and all of his best skills into it, he threw his heart at it as well when you're in front of your home fans. So, bad luck to Glenn. Benjamin Alliard, Michael Brochley and Dries de Griek, of course, for Belgium as well, finishing down there in 7th place. But the bottom three have all picked up penalty scores this evening. The seconds added have made the difference. But Bram Chardon leading the way going into the drive-off. Will he be able to repeat that? It's so easy for a little mistake to happen. And once it does, it can be all change in the blink of an eye. Cousteronde will still perhaps have eyes on the top spot. He's been so consistent, he's going to be on the podium again, top three. And Jerome Boutaz, it was his second drive last night when it all came together. And he beat Bram Chardon by such a margin that there was nothing, once the seconds got out of in, that Bram could do about it. So it is going to be unpredictable. There's no chance of us being able to say at this point, despite Bram perhaps being the favourite, that he's definitely going to be able to do the business. We will find out in a moment or two here for the FEI Driving World Cup in Mechelen. Well, there's the lineup for the drive-off. Jerome Boutaz, Cousteronde and Bram Chardon. World number 6, world number 2, and the world number 3, who is the reigning FEI Driving World Cup holder. What a lineup in Mechelen. What a season it has been. What a final Bordeaux is going to bring us. Of course, we're not there yet, and we've still got Leipzig in Germany to come up around the 19th to the 22nd of January. Then we go to Bordeaux at the beginning of February for the final of the FEI Driving World Cup season. And the season that we have missed. And Mechelen, of course, we've missed Mechelen. It's been great. The likes of Mechelen, the likes of integral part of FEI driving over the years. So about 21 years, I think, the sport now has been running, and Mechelen has been part of it. And this is what we're building up to. The 1, 2, 3 tonight is about to be decided. They do indeed. They start from 0. It comes down to this drive. Penalties are what they need to avoid, but all 3 that come back, of course, were clear in the opening round. The other clear, Glenn Geertz. I mean, poor Glenn Geertz out the back there, 138.55. He's missed out by 0.4 of a second. And where do you find 0.4 of a second? It's the blink of an eye that he's missed. But sport can be so hard on you on occasions when you are competing at its pinnacle. Fabulous audience in here this evening. They've had a lovely day. It was the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup here this afternoon. Yesterday we saw the FEI Dressage World Cup. It's one of those special events that see 3 disciplines come together. A little bit like we saw in London and in Stuttgart, Lyon as well. And the Christmas arena has certainly been busy, and the fans have been back en masse to enjoy everything right the way through to this final night. 25 to 11 local time here in Belgium, wherever you're joining us from around the world. It is a delight to have you with us here on FEI TV, and clip my horse for this drive off for the FEI Driving World Cup here tonight. Well, the drivers will just be keeping their cool out the back. There'll be a little bit of warming up going on, but ultimately they want to save what they've got for when they get here, when they come through that tunnel out into the arena, because it really is a shootout now for the win. You can see in the background down that tunnel maybe now. Is that the shadow of the opening team? Is this the first of the three? It is indeed. So he won yesterday's qualifier. He has driven round this course in 138.12 tonight. Yesterday he managed it in 135.78. There is more time in this team, and they're going to need to find it. But ultimately, as we've learned over the rounds, legs, months and years of watching this sport, finishing without any penalties is the biggest helping hand you can give yourself. But either way, it is for Jérôme Boutaz to put the pressure on the next two. What can the man from Switzerland do? Will it be like Stuttgart, where he finished second? Will it be one step higher like it was here yesterday? It's time for him to give his all as we go racing in the FEI Driving World Cup in May. Oh no, the first gate goes down. Oh! All the build up, and he knows what he needed to do, and he just slid into it. You can see, in fact, he really is drifting his way around the corners. He's going to have to be a little careful. Now, of course, he used that slightly different route in here. We'll see what he does this time round. So he's gone through A, now he's going through B there. Back we come to C. It was at the wiggle. Now, I wasn't sure if it was deliberate. It all happened so fast. We'll see. So now, oh, he's got another 4 added on. Well, he's come the more normal route this time. But 8 seconds, he's just widening how wide that door is going to be open to the next 2 to go. Well, slide around the corner, great view from the middle. He's going to cut inside here. The team working well together. Watch the hands. Look at all the fine adjustments. They're never pulling very hard. The horse is responding very light in the mouth. The voice, he never stops talking. Constant communication. And they've got that real bond and understanding with all of them. Each horse understanding the other. All 4 understanding the driver like they. Pops up and down, 8 seconds to add, 1 more gate to go. Now it's the turn and the run to home. As he shortcuts through the marathon obstacles, he's coming towards the finish here. Jérôme Boutaz, 135.49. He's found time on his opening drive, but unfortunately he's found 8 seconds as well. So 1:43.49 is the time. And that, I am sure, will perhaps be the bit that makes it hard for him to really push for the top, because right from the start, well, what will the other two be able to do? 8 seconds to add, 135.49. I mean, he's done exactly what he did yesterday. He went round in 135.78 yesterday, but had 8 seconds to add. Of course, with the aggregated times yesterday, it didn't matter quite so much tonight. We will see. Because now it's the turn of Kusteronda. It's the Dutch challenge, or the first of the Dutch challengers. The world number 2. What has he got up his sleeve? A little bit of AC/DC, thunderstruck. Well, we will see. Very quick, look at this. He really does mean business. He's got the clock running now through the first safe and, oh no, not safe and sound. So suddenly this is playing into the hands of Jerome Vutaz, because he also, Custeronda, on 4 seconds to add. They're all opening the door a little bit here for Bram Chardon, who's going to be the last to go. Just wonder, some of these big sweeping turns, the vehicle's sliding, drifting on the turn. It's fabulous to watch. Look at that. You can see using the brake pedals to allow the vehicle to rotate. These are amazing bits of kit. These vehicles are certainly not your average driving carriage. Disc brakes, adjustable transmission. Now we go in and out, sliding through the wiggle. And he also on 8 seconds. And now it's an even Stevens affair with Jerome Vutaz. He won't want to pick up any more seconds to add. Custeronda round the back of the bridge. Now he heads for the bridge. Oh, and it's 12. He's picked up another 4. They're really struggling at points when they cut the corners. And you have that gate 8 down. Right. Into the second set of marathon obstacles. Gets through the change of rain. Turns to the right. Now, set them up for this ever tightening turn. Like watching water go down the plug hole. It just gets tighter and tighter, the little whirlpool, but then it spits you out and releases you with 143.49 is the time to beat. 12 seconds, remember, going to be added on to the clock. He's got to be quick. He's got to be over the line faster than he's going to be, because he's not going to be fast enough, is he? Not with 12 seconds to add, unfortunately, for Custeronda, and he's slightly slower as well on the drive time. 138, consistent, 138.88, 12 seconds to add, it's 150.88, but he was only a second slower than he was on his opening drive. Well, if he'd have kept it clean, it would have been enough. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. So Jerome Vutaz still leads, and the first of the Dutch challengers drops into second there with Custeronda. Although another great night for him, as he looks like he's heading yet again towards the podium for what would be, just wondering, how many times has he been on the podium this year? Can be his 4th top 3. So meanwhile, this man's looking to be top of the tree yet again. Bram Chardon, the world number 3, the World Cup holder in the FEI Driving World Cup, the winner from Geneva. Second last time in London. He didn't come out this season until Geneva. This is only his 3rd outing of the year. What is he able to do? Final conversations complete there with Liane on the back as the mid-step, with Quint leaning low, because they know they've got a little bit in hand. They can play a little bit safe because both of the early drives picking up penalties. Bram Chardon, though, is certainly not going to be going slowly from start to finish here, is he? What a wonderful picture. Team really working together as they pull, and then he leans back. He's got that magical touch just to bring the horses back, slow the pace down, start the turn into the marathon. Already through B. Just able to keep them cantering gently along. Now back into the trot, because he knows this is the tight bit. slip slide your way through. And at the moment, he's going to come out of here with one more gate to go. Now, has he done it? Yes, he has, and he's still clear. Is Bram Chardon for the Netherlands. Looks down, judges the turn perfectly. The sand flies sideways. It's a masterful performance so far. Where is he on the split time? Oh, 9 seconds. So far, this is a textbook performance from Bram Chardon. Now to the twists and turns of the magic roundabout in the middle. Round and round the merry-go-round. Then it releases you. And now there's just these final 2 gates. This is quite some drive from the reigning FEI Driving World Cup champion. That's the final gate. What does he do going through the shortcut towards the end? He has picked up 4, but it's not going to make any difference at all tonight, because for the second time this season, Bram Chardon wins, this time in Mechelen, on the FEI Driving World Cup circuit. He won in Geneva, and he's done it again here in Mechelen tonight. What a superb round of driving that was. He knew the others had perhaps made mistakes and that, but he just went for it wholeheartedly. He just did what he does, and he did it as well as anyone else in this game. Superb performance. Still time to just occasionally just look back and just drifting the vehicle into the second set of marathon obstacles. And then the control through the change of rain. Communication coming from them both, in fact. Well, what a night in Mechelen it has been yet again. So fabulous to be back. It seems to bring out the best in them all. It's certainly been the best of nights for Bram Chardon as he wins the FEI Driving World Cup here, leg 7 of the 8. Jerome Vutaz, Custeronda, the 1-2-3. Glenn Geertz just missing out on the drive-off. Wonder what would have happened with him in there. Ben Alliard, Mika Burkley and Dries de Griek are the final lineup as we get set for the presentation of awards in a moment or so. And then, of course, we look to Leipzig and to the next leg, the final leg before the final. What a year it has been. Of course, that is also the win tonight from Bram Chardon. It will tie equal Bram with Boyd Excel at the top of the points table. Is Bram Chardon, Custeronda, Jerome Vutaz up there in 5th, Dries de Griek into 6th place. Mika Burkley at the moment into the top 8. He's there in 7th, and Glenn Geertz will be looking again for more points when we head to Germany in 3 weeks' time. Well, it has been another brilliant week here, and now it's presentation time as we set the scene for the top drivers of the FEI Driving World Cup here in Mechelen. Amazing light show, amazing show. So much great sport, so much great entertainment, and what a way it has been to finish it all off. It really did build towards a crescendo, and whenever, with all the different athletes that have performed in this arena this week, when it came to the driving, the best was certainly saved for last. Well, I wonder what will happen in 2023 in this sport. Of course, the likes of Boyd Excel looking to add yet another, going perhaps into double figures with FEI Driving World Cup titles. But then you've got Bram Chardon looking to make it number 3. You would never rule any of the others out, but you certainly think that those are the two that when we get to Bordeaux, it's going to be a head-to-head battle. We've only seen it once this year. We saw it in London. A great story, but it was Boyd that night, but it was awfully close. Tonight is Bram's night, and we'll see them back in a moment for the presentation, and I'm sure a few fun and games as well, with a little bit of showboating. While the honour guard appears in front of the in-gate. Just before it, hand teams driving in tonight. Sponsor vehicle also with us as well. Well, it has been quite some year, and if you consider this as perhaps the last of the major international competitions of 2022, there's a lot to take in and look back on a fabulous year, of course, for driving, with the return of the full season of the World Cup circuit, as I've mentioned, but of course as well the amazing outdoor season as well that culminated in that quite sensational World Championships in Italy, in Petone, seeing Boyd Excel lifting the World Championship, and the Dutch taking the team gold medal. Two of those gold medal winners, of course, the top two here this evening. But it's been a year we've seen everybody back enjoying and supporting these brilliant shows, and Mechelen is certainly one that everybody comes to have a good time. It certainly breaks up those days where you're never quite sure really what to do between Christmas and New Year, are you? Well, have you been here enjoying it live, or you've been watching it with us over the course of the week? It has certainly been very, very special. And they're still having a great time. This Christmas arena, one of two arenas here for Mechelen. But it's time to welcome in the winner. There he is. The winner of the FEI Driving World Cup in Mechelen, Bram Chardon. Brifinka, Darif Frattani, Kendi and Casper, his team. Leanne Chardon and Quint van Rissrik on the back. Joined in second place by his compatriot Kus de Ronde, with Maria de Ronde and Peter de Ronde as his grooms. Maestro Zenta, Fevri Allegra Futra, Tribi and Fevri Monkey. And then in third, Jérôme Futaz with Nicole Bassu, Philippe Geronet, and his team of four of Belle de Puget, Flower de Gessenet, Lyon, and Luna de la Ville Fontaine. Smiles for the man at the top. And you can also see in fourth place, coming into the line as well, Belgium, just missing out, Glenn Geertz. And also Ben Eliard, Mika Brochet and Dries de Griek. Well, the dignitaries at the ready, and it'll be time to honour that man and that team of horses here this evening that yet again have proved to be absolutely world class. That is off the cheer and the smile. It is a sport that always excites. Well, it's time for the national anthem of the Netherlands in honour of our winner here tonight, the FEI Driving World Cup in Mechelen, Bram Schotter. Something in the water with the Dutch and fast driving when you think of the likes of Max Verstappen. Well, Bram Schotter has certainly proved yet again that he is one of the quickest in the world. And he is certainly not going to give up his title in Bordeaux very easily. It will be a real fight when we get there. But Leipzig is still to come. Mechelen, what a special page it has given us on our return. There is the man that finishes second, Jérôme Futaz. He certainly equalled his best performance of the year, matching what he did in Stuttgart. And then in third, yet again, is Kusteronde. That is his third place finish of the season. What can you say to this man when he missed out on getting into the drive-off by the merest of margins, Glenn Geertz? Ben Eliard takes 5th place here this evening. In 6th place, that goes there to Mika Brochet for Germany. And then finally in 7th place, on home soil here tonight as well. Just wasn't his night with the seconds that he picked up as penalties for Dries de Griek. It's going to be quite some playtime in a moment when these teams begin their lap of honour. Crowd have really enjoyed it. I've absolutely loved it. I hope you all have as well. Presentation's not quite complete. Well, it's a miniature version. It might fit his cap in. Perhaps there's a bigger version that'll be delivered later. Lovely team of horses. We talk a lot when we talk about jumping and dressage about it being the ultimate combination of a horse and a rider working together. And when you look at driving, it's that times 4. The relationship that is required. Igmar de Vos, the president of the sports governing body, the FEI there as well. But it is an understanding, a relationship that they have to build. Igmar is going to be going for a ride, I see here tonight. Hold on tight, because the next bit is what they call showboating. It's almost as fun as watching the sport itself. Time for 28 horses to go for a spin here in Mechelen. Never sure how they all work this bit out, but it is great fun. Crowd on their feet. They really enjoy the driving here. What a week of sport Mechelen has delivered once more. 40 years of jumping Mechelen celebrated here. 20 of that, it has also included the sport of indoor driving trials as well. Bramshano now equal top of the FEI Driving World Cup standings. Amazing. But Boyd, I guess, with still that favourite tag when he goes to Bordeaux. So the one time they've met was in London. That was Boyd's day. Well, he's picked up the whip. They're going to take the brake off a little bit now. Getting the wheel in the middle. Just look at the way the reins slide through the hands, through the fingers, when you're riding. It just shows you the light touch, but how quick they have to be. I'm really having to ask them to turn a little bit now. Music thumping out. Having to fit them all in. Look at this, 3 teams wide as they race down like the chariots of old. What have they got for us next? Mikael Brockley there on the right hand side. Juice de Greek to the left. Coming into line as well. Oh, they're going opposite way round. Juice de Greek, Jerome Vitaz. He smiled. He decided to remove the carpet. Just starting to work out their final route out of this Christmas arena here this evening. Plenty of support for that man. Still one of the younger drivers in the sport, Juice de Greek. Mikael Brockley, the German star. Ben Elliard. Glenn Geertz tonight heading out as well, finishing there in 4th place. Hitting the brakes. There he is, still smiling. Smiling a long time. What a way to wrap up a year as well, to be able to win the last event of 2022. Certainly going to carry him through into the new year. Brilliant performance again tonight. Look at him go. He really has been one of the stars of the show. Jerome Vitaz heads out at full speed. He will, of course, finish second here tonight. But it has been all about one man here tonight. He rectified the qualifier. He repeated what he did in Geneva. He is the FEI Driving World Cup champion. Bram Chardon heads into 2023 with the final win in 2022 as he wraps up victory here in Jumping Mechelen in the FEI Driving World Cup Series. We can look forward to Leipzig, and then it's time for the final in Bordeaux. Thank you for being with us here for this amazing sport in Belgium this year. I wish you all a happy and healthy new year and all the best for 2023. And thank you so much for joining us on what has been a brilliant 2022.
En een servetje, u mag allemaal het oude jaar